Hi everyone, today we're going to break down the Gear vs Grub vs Fun Splatfest. This Splatfest in particular being the first official Splatoon 3 Splatfest had a lot going for it. For a lot of people, this was their first Splatfest ever, and for the other half, this was their first real Splatfest since January 2021. So we're going to break this down into 4 sections. Matchmaking, community reaction, and oh boy were there some issues in the community about this Splatfest, tricolor, and the snails glitch. Dear Lord, the snails glitch. So let's start with matchmaking. So the team distributions were really not that good with this Splatfest. 58.28 people went Team Gear, 20.7% of the people went Team Grub, and 21.02 people went Team Fun. These really aren't supposed to be distributed like this. The teams should be a lot closer to the 30% range, and none of them were. There were a ton of mirror matches that I personally got going on Team Gear, so that wasn't exactly the best. The main reason for the poor team distribution is because this concept for the Splatfest just wasn't the best. It's a very easy answer for a really simple question. Gear is a lot more objective for the question of what would you bring to a deserted island, whereas the other two teams don't make as much sense as an answer to the question. Also, something I noticed, this could be just completely different for others, but the people I played against that were on Team Grub, at least in open battles, were just really not that good. I'm not exactly sure why this is. Like, I'm not calling anyone on Team Grub bad or making a, like, haha, skill issue joke here, especially since I know a lot of people that were, like, on Team Grub were, like, actually really good players, like, at least from the Splatoon community that I saw that were public about their team choice. So you'd think that Grub would have won at least in one of the battle categories, especially since they had the lowest amount of people on their team. That used to be a pretty common trend that people on the team that had less people would win. Like, for example, in Mushroom vs. Star in Splatoon 2, Mushroom had way less than half of the players on their team, and they still won normal and pro battles. So it's kind of shocking that they didn't win in any of the categories. The people on Team Fun, on the other hand, seemed to be super good. I had a lot more issues with them than I did with the people on Team Grub. Overall, I lost more matches to Team Fun than I did to Team Grub, at least from my experience, and I played the Splatfest for about 9 to 10 hours. I'm surprised they didn't win open battles, because they were good. But with that out of the way, let's talk about community reaction. Now, there was a pretty big issue that happened regarding the Splatfest, and will probably get its own video in the future because it's a very big issue. So there was a post that got pretty big, like, I don't know how many days before the Splatfest, it might have actually been the day the Splatfest was announced, that definitely impacted many players' choice and team. A 4chan post was spread all around Twitter claiming that the Splatfest was about a vacation and not a deserted island, and if you didn't see it, a lot of other people did, including this bozo. This got so big because people believed Nintendo of America had another translation issue, which led to people choosing teams based off the idea the question was a vacation island, and shockingly, Nintendo didn't actually screw the translation up this time, which left a pretty sizable group of people stuck on a team they didn't want to actually be on. In retrospect, it's pretty funny that people fell for this. Like, for one, it's a 4chan post. 2, if you simply look at the picture for Team Gear, you can see that you're bringing survival equipment with you, which you wouldn't bring to a vacation. So next time this happens, make sure your source isn't 4chan. Now, tricolor. Ooh boy. So, tricolor was an absolute disaster for many reasons. Number 1, Nintendo massively tuned down how many times you can actually match into tricolor. We actually found out the odds of matching to tricolor, and it was literally 2%. If you matchmade into the tricolor tab, you had a 2% chance of actually getting into tricolor. And when you got in, oh boy, Hammerhead was not a good map to be in this mode. I'm gonna expand on how tricolor is fundamentally broken in a future video, so you should definitely subscribe for that. But tricolor on Hammerhead was so broken in the defender's favor, it had super easy choke points to keep offensive trapped at spawn, which was not fun. I wish I could have gotten more experience to give a full opinion on this, but of the 9-ish hours I played, I spent 3 of those hours trying to matchmake into tricolor, and it only happened once.
Please. Yes! 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 Yes, it's real! It's real! After 2 hours, I've finally gotten a tricolor match!
Nintendo stated it's just temporary and they plan to fix tricolor, but like, if the main event for the Splatfest mode isn't working as intended, they should have just delayed the Splatfest. I mean, like, the game is still incredibly new. It wouldn't have broken lots of people's hearts if they would have just saved the Splatfest for October. Now, one more reason Nintendo should have delayed the Splatfest: the freaking snails. So, there was a glitch that by the next Splatfest will be patched, where if your console for some reason lost internet connection during the Splatfest winter announcement, you wouldn't get your sea snails. And I know this because it happened to me. Yep. So I turned off my Switch after I saw the announcement part and didn't finish the news because I didn't plan on playing the game anymore that night, and I just went on to see who won. And because I didn't finish the news and turn my Switch off, my console lost connection, and when I went back in, I didn't get my snails. And I wasn't the only one that this happened to. I had a tweet that blew up and found that I was not alone in not receiving snails, even though I played in the Splatfest. And about a day later, it was announced that Nintendo was now aware of a glitch and was issuing a patch to fix the issue for later Splatfest and to give people who didn't get their snails their reward. So, what would I give the Splatfest rating out of 10? Honestly, probably a 4. This Splatfest was way too dramatic and had far too many issues, and overall, should have been delayed a month. It's not as bad as Mushroom vs. Star from Splatoon 2, but will probably go down as Splatoon 3's worst Splatfest, which, honestly, that's okay. Splatoon 3's got some growing pains to get over in the next few months, and the next Splatfest is most likely going to have all of these issues resolved. So even though this one blew, we'll get through it, and this Splatfest will be looked at as a blip in time, and we go back on it and laugh. But anyways, that's it from me. What did you think about this Splatfest? Did you get to play any tricolor? Did you also not get your snails? Let me know in the comments. Alright gamers, that's it from me. See ya.